clearly something catastrophic happened in the relatively recent past.
Yes.
And this is, as I said, it's the same with giants. You have this ubiquitous testimony about giants. Well, concurrent with that, you have this ubiquitous testimony about cataclysm.
Have you seen the work that there's this Italian guy, I'll send you the article, Jamie. There's this Italian guy that is proposing that I'll send it to you, Jamie, that there's a way of measuring the erosion on the outside of the pyramids that he believes indicates they are at least 10,000 years older than we believe so far. Super controversial, at least. He's talking about the erosion on the granite, and that there's, by studying erosion and by studying the timeline of erosion. And this is something that Ben Van Kerkwijk has talked about. When you look at the older, non-updated versions of some of the sites in Egypt, where it's clear that there was original stone, and then there was stone that was built on top of that.
Here's an article that shows some better pictures.
Okay, here's the article. So the heading of the article, please. So it says, could the Great Pyramid be far older than we thought? A new study says yes. And if you go to it, down there, what he's saying is, so this is from January of 2026. Go up a little bit, right there, bigger. Paper released in January 2026, Italian engineer Alberto Donini presents an unconventional dating approach known as the relative erosion method, which he argues may challenge the long-accepted chronology placing the construction of the Pyramid of Khufu around 2560 BC. According to Donini's calculations, erosion patterns at the pyramid's base could suggest a construction date tens of thousands of years earlier, potentially as far back as the late Paleolithic period. The claim, if substantiated, would have far-reaching implications for the history of ancient Egypt and early civilization, yet it also raises immediate questions about methodology, assumptions, and how such results could be interpreted within archaeological science. Well, I don't think archaeology is a science. I think what archaeology is they're looking at stuff and they're guessing and they're using science, and then they have timelines that they establish that they're very reluctant to let go of.
Yeah.
And we've seen this with the dating of Göbekli Tepe. Mm-hmm. We've seen this with the erosion around the Temple of the Sphinx. They're very reluctant.
While simultaneously disregarding the ubiquitous testimony of our ancient antecedents, who say that their ancestors were far greater than them.
Look at this right here. Other points yield far higher values. Several measurements suggest erosion equivalent to 20,000 to more than 40,000 years of exposure, while the arithmetic mean of all 12 points produces a result of approximately 24,900 years before present, corresponding to roughly 22,900 BC. I mean, holy shit, if that's accurate.
Yeah.
And then you have also Filippo Biondi's work, where they're looking at the radiotomography below the pyramids, and they have these structures that go 1.2 kilometers down into the earth.
Yeah. Did you see I did an interview on, I made an appearance on Piers Morgan's show, and Piers had on Howie Zawas. And I didn't know that I was going to be interacting with Howie Zawas.
Zahi
Hawass. The other way around. I didn't know that I was going to be interacting with him. I was just told that they wanted me to come on and talk about pyramids and stuff. But then
Pierce loves a good scramble.
Yeah,
he loves loves a squabble.
So he set me up like, here's your opportunity to say whatever you want. It was me and Jimmy Corsetti and some other people. Here's your opportunity to ask Zahi whatever you want. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really have anything to ask this guy. But then it occurred to me, I actually have, me and my team are in possession of some state-of-the-art ground-penetrating radar technology that we use to great effect in Peru. And so I'm thinking about this discovery, these alleged megastructures under the pyramids. And I'm thinking, it wouldn't be that difficult. You don't have to detect them all the way down. You just have to verify that there's something there, right? And so I posited this to Zahi, and I told him, look, I've got this equipment. Would you facilitate us coming down there? And it operates off of a drone platform, so you don't have to drag it. You can fly it around the pyramid. You don't have to touch the pyramid. You just fly it in the vicinity of the pyramids, and see if you can detect something. I mean, you would do no injury to any artifacts there. And he seemed like he was very open to the idea, on camera, and said that, basically told peers, get your people in contact with him so that, give him my information so I can reach out to him. Of course, that never happened. So it would not be that difficult to verify that. And that's why I'm wondering why you don't have to dig.
Right. Why wouldn't you want as much exploration of the most spectacular site that human beings have ever erected on the face of the earth that has a very controversial timeline?
That's right.
I mean, even the conventional timeline's super controversial because, how the fuck did they do it?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just accept that it's 2500 BC. Okay, great. Yeah. How?
Exactly.
I don't know why it being older is more controversial because it's still the same people, the same. It's human beings that lived a long time ago. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
But why are they sticking to 2500 BC? It's because they've always said that they know. Mm-hmm. They've always said with great certainty and from a position of authority that this is what we know. We know Khufu did this. We know this guy did this. But you don't really know. Mm-hmm. And there's also incredible amount of evidence that these guys wrote their name on everything. When they were in power, they liked to put their names on everything.
Or recarve the head of the Sphinx.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. There's some controversy about that as well because there's layers of stone that have different gradients, like different hardness. And they're different types of stone. And the face, the controversy is that the face is like a harder stone and it wouldn't erode as quickly. Problem with that is the stuff that's eroded for a long period in history was covered in sand. Mm-hmm. And we know that for a fact. So there was no erosion going on during that period of time, but yet it's massively more eroded than the face.
Well, I think that one of the fundamental problems that we have as modern Westerners looking at this stuff is we have an inversion of the timeline of history. When we look at the timeline of history, we generally view our antecedents as like cavemen.
Yes.
That these are very ignorant people. They're basically, chimpanzees with better brains. And as we progress through the timeline of history, we're becoming increasingly more intelligent, increasingly more capable of building and of building these monuments and technology and so forth. So we see ourselves as the pinnacle of the human species. We're the smartest, we're the greatest. That's not the way that the ancients viewed the antediluvian world. That's not the way that they viewed their antecedents. They see for them it was the inverse. For them, they were always trying to recover the glory of the people that had come before them, the majesty of the civilization that had come before them. So when they look back down the timeline of history, they're the dummies. And the further you go back, the more extraordinary people are.